maladaptive in nature, negative thinking. Okay, so cognitive therapy will be focused on countering these negativistic thinking. Okay, but very few lack of good outcome studies. Like there has not been a real research, or we don't have any empirical evidence that this method, this technique, this therapy will work on paranoid personality disorder. Okay, so now the second disorder under cluster A is schizoid personality disorder. So here the core features, the main clinical features are pervasive pattern of detachment from social relationships. So people having this personality disorder, they are, you can find these individuals to be very detached in their social relationships. They don't like to form any attachments. Even in family also, they will not be as attached with the family members. They have very limited range of emotions in interpersonal situations. Emotionally very restricted in their emotions. Okay, and so when you're restricted in your emotions, very indifferent sort of an attitude they will exhibit. Okay, so if somebody is praising them, doesn't mean anything to them. If somebody is criticizing them, doesn't matter to them. Very indifferent to praise or criticism. And these are the individuals who have a very lonely type of lifestyle. So what is the criteria for schizoid personality disorder? The main important criteria is detachment from social relationships, restricted emotions, and at least four of the following. And at least minimum four of the following. What was that? That the person will neither desire nor enjoy social relationships. They are not, see, people with social anxiety, we were mentioning under anxiety disorders. So people with social anxiety, social phobia, they desire social relationships. They want to be part of social situation. They want friends, they want to be connected, but because they feel anxiety, because they will be judged, they experience anxiety. They feel that they are not good enough, and people will judge them. But here in schizoid personality disorder, they don't want any social relationships. They don't enjoy, and they don't want any social connect. They don't want any social relationships. Okay. They prefer solitary activities. They have little interest in sexual experiences, and they get pleasure from few activities. Okay. So they don't really enjoy any activities, very few activities, even if they like, they'll indulge in very few activities. They lack close friends, and they appear indifferent to praise or criticism. And there is, as I told you, restricted emotions. So they will show very, they are seen as if like they are very cold, very show emotional coldness, detachment, and flat affect. That is no emotions. They don't really experience much of much range of emotions. Okay. Now, what is the cause? Again, not much of research has been done. Etiology. Etiology means the cause. Is what the causal factors are very unclear. We are not sure what causes schizoid personality in an individual. But some of the researchers, they say that it could be that this preference for social isolation almost resembles autism. And what are the treatment options? Again, very few seek help on their own, and focus is on the value of so if even if so if they are brought for therapy, if they are brought for treatment, psychotherapeutic treatment, then the focus of the treatment will be on teaching them value of interpersonal relationships, how to connect with others, and help them to build empathy and social skills. And but again, not many good research studies. See, when I continuous lack of good outcome studies means, see, when we are doing performing psychotherapy, okay, when a patient comes to us or a client comes to us, uh, just we don't employ techniques or treatment methods just like that. Okay, whatever treatment methods are employed, those treatment methods have to be, those techniques should have proven themselves through lot of research backing. Okay, then only you can use those treatment methods. Like in a physical health condition, okay, just because a scientist has come up with a medicine, a new medicine, It's not immediately given to a patient. They have to be, lot of trials and a lot of research till that medicine has proven itself. Then only it is given to the common population. The same rule applies to psychotherapy also. So even if it's not just medicine, it's our psychological techniques also. They have to prove themselves through a lot of outcome studies, through a lot of research. Then only we employ those techniques and in our therapy situation. Just because I read some new newspaper article has come and some person is somewhere is writing some article and saying he is used this technique. So you cannot just use just because there is some article in the newspaper or a magazine. That is unethical. So, as a psychotherapist, techniques which you use, they have to be substantial. I mean, a lot of empirical evidence has to be behind that technique. Okay, so lack of good outcome studies means not there is not much research or any good studies or outcome any techniques which have shown good outcome. These techniques have proven themselves, and then these techniques have been found to be effective for schizoid personality. So we don't have much research regarding treatment. Then the last cluster is schizotypal personality disorder. Last disorder under cluster A. So the clinical features of schizoid personality is enduring pattern of discomfort with others. They feel very uncomfortable when interacting with others. And odd, peculiar thinking and behavior is observed in this personality disorder. Very odd type of thinking, very peculiar. And behavior address is also very odd and unusual in nature. They'll be dressed very bizarrely, and the behavior would also be very bizarre mannerisms, unusual mannerisms, and they'll dress inappropriate to the weather. Like, the weather is hot outside, and they'll be all full of coats and heavy dressing. Okay, and socially, these people are also socially isolated and has very suspicious nature. Okay, very highly suspicious, and they have magical thinking. Ideas of prints and illusions are also observed in such people. And this personality disorder is most closely linked to schizophrenia compared to other personality disorder. Ideas of reference means, two three people are talking, and if I enter the room, I'll see, sometimes if if they suddenly stop talking, we will feel as if oh, it could be that they might be talking about me. So once in a while, that's okay. But then anybody talking, whosoever is talking, they are talking about me only. Okay, having this
విజయ
delusion.
కాల్ వస్తుంది నాకు. విజయ నాకు కాల్ వస్తుంది.
So what is the criteria for schizotypal personality disorder? Acute discomfort with social relationships, eccentric behavior, and at least five or more should be present. So till now we had like at least four symptoms. Now for schizotypal, at least five should be there on a minimum. Okay, so just a second. So what are ideas of reference? I just mentioned, isn't it? Ideas of reference, it is a type of delusion where individual, like experiences like any mere coincidence or any two people talking, so they are talking about them only. They'll feel like they have this false belief that random or irrelevant conversations are directly related to them. People are talking about them only. Okay, so that is what ideas of reference is. Odd beliefs, unusual perceptual experiences, that is like they see things, illusions, not hallucinations. Okay, so certain things are there in the environment and they perceive them that to be something else. Okay, suspiciousness is observed, inappropriate or constructed affect. So emotional reaction or emotional is like very limited range of emotions, and even if they show emotion, it will not be appropriate to the situation. Order eccentric appearance and behavior, lack of close friends, and they also experience excessive levels of social anxiety. What is the cause? The cause of these disorders, they say, according to research, these disorders are linked to schizophrenia and may represent a less severe form of the disorder. Family studies have revealed that relatives of patients with schizophrenia are at risk for developing schizotypal personality disorder as well as paranoid personality disorder. How so? Because I just mentioned when I was talking about paranoid personality disorder that, children uh, being brought up, in an environment where primary caretakers are, telling them that you cannot trust others, world is a very dangerous place. So people having schizophrenia, they experience hallucinations and delusions, paranoid delusions. Uh, so if parents have schizophrenia, so what they will do, they will talk about the world as a very dangerous place. Not to trust others. One of the core features of schizophrenia is suspiciousness, and delusions, like different types of delusions. So children being brought up by schizophrenia, parents with schizophrenia, can will also, start to believe in the delusion of the parent, okay, and delusion experienced by the parent, they will also believe it to be true of the world of others, and will develop that type of a personality. Okay, so treatment will focus mainly on developing social skills in these individuals. Medical treatment, if it is given, will be similar to that used for schizophrenia, but treatment prognosis is generally very poor. So, not really, a very positive outcome is not really uh, seen. Okay, prognosis is very poor. So now cluster B, personality disorders. So, what is the clinical feature uh, 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 under antisocial personality disorder? I mean, under cluster B, the first personality disorder is antisocial personality disorder. So, the main important feature of antisocial personality is, as the name itself suggests, antisocial personality. Okay, so they will failure to comply with social norms. They will not comply with society's rules, regulations, social norms. Okay, and they will violate rights of others. They will not respect others' rights. Okay, very disrespectful, and they will indulge in irresponsible, impulsive, and deceitful behavior. Okay, criminal behavior. They will make use others for their own benefits. They lack conscience, empathy, and remorse. So they might hurt others, they will destroy others property, or they will indulge in criminal behavior. And after doing such wrongs, they will not feel bad about it, they will not feel remorse that, oh, I have done something wrong. There is a, lack of conscience and empathy and remorse observed in people having antisocial personality disorder. And impulsivity, failure to plan ahead is also seen in these people. Irritability, aggressiveness, indulging in repetitive fights is also a core feature of antisocial personality. And in the, you cannot diagnose a person, very critical, very important. Uh, Personality disorders are diagnosed after 18 years. Okay, and usually, see, personality starts to develop from childhood, and by the time a person is, reaching young adulthood, you can see that, that core personality is setting into place. So we don't really diagnose a person as having personality disorders till the person is, like, above 18 or adult. If you are giving a diagnosis of personality disorder before 18 years of age, uh, it should be proven that at least for a year, full period of year, the person was, continuously showing or fulfilling the criteria which we were talking about till now. But under under antisocial personality disorder, after 18 years of age only, you if these features are observed, you can give a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder. If these features are observed before 18 years of age, then we give a diagnosis of conduct disorder of child. Okay, so before 18 years of age, conduct disorder. After 18 years of age, these signs and symptoms are observed, then it is antisocial personality disorder. So uh, it has that's why there is a very core relationship between conduct disorders of childhood and antisocial personality disorder. So you know, if a person has a personality who has antisocial personality disorders, if you will go back in his history and childhood history or adolescent history, you'll go back and find out information from their history, from their primary caretakers. You would see that in his history there has always been early behavior problems, conduct problems in his history. Okay, so early histories of behavior problems, including conduct disorder, would be observed in a person having antisocial personality disorder. So right from childhood, you can see these symptoms as signs of uh, behavior problems. And and just a second. And one important thing is families and why, what is could be the cause of these conduct disorder problems or antisocial personality disorder is, the again the primary upbringing the child has had during his childhood. So families with inconsistent parental discipline and support has been shown to lead to conduct disorders and antisocial personality disorder. Consistent parenting, today for same behavior the child will be punished very harshly, and after a week the same behavior child is not punished, or child is praised for it. So there is this inconsistent parental discipline. Families, they themselves having a history of criminal and violent behavior. So there is learning which is happening. The child is brought up in an environment where the whole family is indulging in violent and criminal behavior, then he or she will also learn that. So what is the DSM criteria for antisocial personality disorder? It's pattern of disregard for rights of others. They don't respect right of others. Okay. At least from age of since 15 years of age, and at least five or more, three or more of the following has to be present. What are those? Failure to conform to social norms, and disrespect towards lawful behavior, deceitfulness, lying, conning others for profit or pleasure. So taking advantage of others, conning others, okay, being deceitful, lying, impulsivity, failure to plan ahead, irritability, aggressiveness, and indulging in repetitive fights with others, reckless disregard for safety of others, consistent irresponsibility or failure to honor obligations. They will not keep their word. Okay, if, they'll continuously lie. So if they want something, they will promise, but then they will not honor their obligations. Okay, lack of remorse. They can harm others with no remorse at all. They'll not feel bad about it. The individual should be at least 18 years of age for you to give a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorders. If the same symptoms are observed, then before 18 years of age, it is conduct disorder. And as I told you, in the person's history, there will be an evidence of conduct disorder in that person's childhood history. So causes, there are different causes which has been found to be linked with antisocial personality disorder. Genetics. Okay, so there is family history. If there is a family history of conduct disorder, I mean, sorry, conduct disorder, and also if there is family history of antisocial behavior, then the child will also inherit that. Inherit, or basically, if the child is brought up in such an environment. Birth trauma has also been linked to antisocial personality disorder. Okay, birth trauma, like some injury during birth, okay, during delivery, and these individuals who show antisocial personality disorder, they found that there is this sensation seeking sort of a they always continuously have to they need to continuously seek sensations, like they always have to be have to experience adrenaline hike. Okay. And if, as I just mentioned, family dynamics, family is very, very, very important when it comes to personality. So if they are being brought up in an environment where parents themselves are indulging in antisocial behavior, or if they are brought up in an environment where inconsistent discipline is being used, or very harsh type of discipline is being used, and so that can also be one of the causes. Modeling and media. So
But
if,
ma'am, one second. Ma'am, excuse me.
yes,
Ma'am, as like, in
your voice is
while we are
your voice is not clear.
doing,
Hello.
ma'am, is this okay now?
Yeah.
Ma'am, as like, the schizotypal and schizophrenia, this type of disorders, when we are treating, the client has to be 18 years and above. So that is what you were telling. But
Schizotypal,
once the
no. I'm talking about antisocial.
antisocial, just now you mentioned, ma'am, okay, if it's 18 years,
Huh?
then we have to, if we have to treat the patient, then patient has to cross 18 years. That is what you were telling.
It's not treatment. You cannot, it's not, I'm not talking about treatment, I'm talking about diagnosis. Okay. So you cannot give a diagnosis. Usually we give a diagnosis of personality disorders for adults only after usually after 18 years or in adults, because we believe that personality is, and during long term it is still forming. Okay. But it can be given before 18 years if those symptoms and patterns have been present at least for last 1 year. Got it?
Okay, but if it is 18 years or adults, then their personality is already almost formed. Now, ma'am. In that case, our uh, treatment will work. Not treatment.
So how
Uh,
does it matter whether a person, I mean, how does it matter whether there is a diagnosis, then only we'll give treatment, isn't it? It's the
okay.
diagnosis is not really, see, diagnosis is nothing, if you're really going to talk about it, then you're, it's, you're labeling a person. Why should that be a criteria? And we are not going to, if somebody comes, uh, a parent brings a child, he is 12-year-old, 13-year or 14-year-old showing behavior problems. So behavior problems will be observed right from childhood, isn't it? So the parents are concerned that the child is not interacting with others, is not developing social skills, is suspicious, or some behavior problems. Parents will bring children with behavior problems. So at that critical juncture, we will not say no. We will wait till his personality forms, then only we'll give treatment. We don't do that, isn't it?
So that is what my
So
question. Once the personality is formed, then uh, even after while giving the treatment, also will he be able to change his behavior because it is already formed, right?
no, I told you, isn't it? Not many good outcome studies, but still, if they come for treatment, so which
Okay,
personality the person has, okay, disorder the person has, what is the core feature? Okay, so paranoid personality disorder. So our treatment will focus on building trust in him, building
okay,
trust towards
got
others. Understand?
it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I got
Okay.
it.
So,
Thank you.
schizotypal, we will focus on teaching him interpersonal skills. We'll focus on teaching them social skills. We'll focus on teaching them, the different life skills. Got it?
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Life skills
Okay,
can
thank
be learned at any time.
you. Okay,
Okay.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So, modeling and media, very important. Nowadays, see if the type of exposure the children are getting. Okay. So, And family dynamics, a very important thing. One is like, I forgot to mention. So if the child has experienced abuse or neglect during childhood also, they can later on develop antisocial personality disorder. So unstable or violent family during childhood can also lead to antisocial personality disorder. Okay. If the family themselves are indulging in criminal behavior, they themselves are exhibiting antisocial personality, chances are that children will also inherit that. And media has a lot of role to play. And modeling is, parents are the primary role models. So parents are, they themselves are violent and criminal in nature, child will learn through modeling. And then we have media, I cannot say it enough, so much of media exposure nowadays. Movies, the type of movies which are coming up, to name a few, just recently few movies have come up. So, and they have went on to become super duper hits. And so children at a very critical juncture where they are like developing. And for them, like when they go and watch such movies and they find that these movies have been hit, they'll understand that this is the type of behavior which is normal, and to be a hero they have to copy that behavior. So media also has a very critical role impact on a child's personality. So treatment, very few seek treatment on their own. And antisocial behavior is predictive of very poor prognosis. Uh, Emphasis placed on prevention and rehabilitation. Prevention means like during childhood itself, as I told you, every antisocial personality disorder person, every individual having antisocial personality disorder, if you'll go dig in their history, he or she will be showing exhibiting conduct disorder or behavior problems during their childhood. So if at that critical juncture, if these children are given, some sort of help at that critical juncture, you can prevent that child from later on developing antisocial personality. Rehabilitation is, once they are caught, because these are the people who will indulge in criminal activities. So after they are caught, they are like, uh, uh, they try to rehabilitate them, often incarceration. That is, prison is the only viable alternative for people with antisocial personality disorder. Next is borderline personality disorder. So, enduring pattern of thinking behavior that involves unstable moods and relationships. So, people having borderline personality disorder, their moods are very unstable emotional responses, unstable moods, and also relationships. Impulsivity, fear of abandonment, very poor self-image. Self-mutilation is suicidal gesture. Self-mutilation is they will indulge in self-harm, such as cutting themselves with blades or injuring themselves. Suicidal gestures are very common in borderline personality disorder. They have unrealistically positive or negative opinions about others. That is like for them, uh, as I just mentioned, very unstable. They will have very unstable is when they are in a relationship with somebody or friendship. So for them, people are, there is no, there's always black or white. People are good or people are bad. There is no gray area for them. Okay, so unrealistically, like a person is either very good or very bad. Okay, so they indulge in intense relationships, or there will not be any relationships at all. And comorbidity rates are high. Comorbidity means along with this disorder, some other disorder can also be seen. So it has been proven that people with borderline disorders, they also experience depression and anxiety. So, what is the criteria for borderline personality disorder? Instability in relationships, very poor self-image, marked impulsivity, and at least five have to be present. What are those frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment? Whosoever is talking, please mute your phone. Mute. Okay, frantic. So these are the people who are very unstable in their moods, very unstable in the relationships, and they have a very poor self-image. Because they have a very poor self-image, they fear that people will leave them, they will abandon them. Okay, and even whenever they are in any relationships or friendships, whatever type of relationship they are in, so because they fear that those people will leave them, they will be always be making very frantic efforts to hold on to that relationships. Okay, pattern of unstable intense relationships. There is an identity disturbance, that is very poor self-image is observed in these people. Impulsivity in two or more areas that are damaging, okay, self-damaging. And recurrent suicidal behavior, gestures, or threats of suicide is observed in these people. Affective instability, that is emotional instability. Chronic feelings of emptiness, they feel empty all the time. Okay, and inappropriate intense anger, and transient stress related paranoid stress, suspicious that people will leave them. Okay, abandon them. What are the causes? It has been found that it runs in families, and research has also shown that early trauma, early abuse or neglect during childhood seems to, or if there has been some sort of dysfunction, they have been brought up in a dysfunctional family where they felt very insecure in that environment. It can seems to play some causal role. And treatment options, very few good outcome studies, and but as I told you, comorbidity, that is along with personality, borderline personality disorder, these people, they will also experience depression or anxiety. So medications targeted towards depression and anxiety is given, that is antidepressant medicines are given to provide them some sort of relief from the symptoms. And psychotherapy, dialectical behavior therapy, it is a form of cognitive behavior therapy which has been found to be most promising. A lot of research and empirical evidence has been shown that dialectical behavior therapy is found to be very effective in treating borderline personality disorder.
Excuse me,
Now,
ma'am.
next is histrionic personality disorder.
Ma'am,
Yes,
what is dialectical behavior
it
therapy?
is a type of therapy which has its own techniques targeted towards borderline personality disorder. As I mentioned, people with borderline personality disorder have mood instability and very poor self-image, and they indulge in very unstable relationships. So dialectical behavior therapy has techniques which help them to able to regulate their emotions, improve their self-confidence, and teach them interpersonal skills. Okay.
Okay. Is it discussed in later lessons?
No, I don't think so. I have no idea because your counseling theories or therapies, uh, have a look in that paper if they have, because this paper only has we are covering psychological disorders.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
so you need to learn about psychological disorders in this paper.
Okay.
You might be having a paper about counseling theories or therapies or techniques, isn't it? So
Okay.
in that, just
Thank
find
you.
out whether this is covered in that paper. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if say it's psychotherapy is a huge, vast ocean. Okay. Histrionic personality disorder. Overview clinical feature is these are the people who are, overly dramatic, sensational, and very sexually provocative. And they all are often impulsive and need to be center of attention. Everywhere they go, they have to be center of attention. Person is very self-centered, vain, and very demanding in nature. Their thinking and emotions are perceived as shallow. They don't think deep. Their emotions are not very deep in nature. Their thinking process is also not very deep, very shallow, only centered about, it's all always about themselves, their demands, whether they are center of attention, whether they are attractive to people, people are giving them attention or not. And common this diagnosis is commonly found in females. So, what is the diagnostic criteria? Excessive emotionality, attention seeking, and at least five or more have to be present. They become uncomfortable when they are not center of attention. If somebody else is getting attention, they'll be very, very uncomfortable. Whole focus and attention should be on them. Rapidly shifting moods. If they're getting attention, very happy. If it goes to somewhere else, rapidly the mood shifts to anger or irritableness. They use physical appearance to draw attention of others. Interactions are characterized by very provocative, seductive behavior, exaggerates in dramatic manner, very dramatic way of talking and behaving, and they are very suggestible and easily influenced by others. And they consider relationships to be more close, more intimate than they really are. Causes we really don't know. Etiology is largely unknown. Some believe that it could be a variant or a type of antisocial personality. Treatment focus will be on attention seeking and long term negative consequences. So focus is on like teaching them that, at making them understand the negative consequences of continuous attention seeking. And treatment may also target to include teach them interpersonal skills, but there is little evidence that any particular treatment has been found to be effective. Then, narcissistic personality disorder. The core feature is enduring pattern of thinking behavior characterized by grandiosity, preoccupation with own achievements and abilities. Grandiosity is like exaggerated, unreasonable sense of self-importance. We are this, we are that, we are so important, we are this. Okay, very grandiose ideas. Preoccupation with receiving attention. They'll all should always get attention. Lack sensitivity and compassion for others. Okay, so they are not bothered and they will not be compassionate towards others. Highly sensitive to criticism, envious if somebody else is getting something or somebody else is getting attention, and very arrogant in nature. What is the criteria? Grandiosity in fantasy and behavior. There is should be need for they should always be admired. Need for admiration is observed in these people. They lack empathy, and at least five should be there. That is, has grandiose sense of self-importance, is preoccupied with fantasies of power, success, love, believes he or she is special or unique, requires excessive admiration, has sense of entitlement. I am entitled to everything. It is my right that things should come to me. I should get those things. Take advantage of others to achieve their own needs. They lack empathy, is often envious of others, and behave very arrogantly and haughty in nature. Causes, they found that during childhood, if children are uh, not taught to be empathetic and compassionate towards others, failure to learn empathy as a child is one of the causes. And so, according to sociological view or sociocultural view, this is the product of we generation. That is the current generation in which we are living, and the children brought up in this current generation where they are very self-absorbed. It is always about themselves, me, I, and all that. That could be one of the causes of developing this personality. Treatment options, the focus of treatment will be on teaching them this ideas of grandiosity which they have. So teach them to be realistic in their approach, teach them empathy, and target their unrealistic thinking. But again, little evidence has been regarding treatment has been found. Now cluster C, we don't have time. I should have ideally started mood disorder. Anyways, avoidant first disorder under cluster C is avoidant personality disorder. So here, the thinking and behavior is characterized by pervasive social discomfort. They don't feel comfortable in social situations. They fear that they will be negatively evaluated or judged by others. They are they are socially isolated. They are very easily hurt, very sensitive to criticism. They fear disapproval by others. They are shy and socially uncomfortable but desire social contact. Avoid it because of fear of embarrassment or criticism by others. Causes, there have been numerous factors which have been proposed, but not really one clear factor has not been found. And it could be because, like, the child was brought had a very difficult temperament during childhood, or has faced early rejection by primary caretakers, the parents or the family members, and had not really provided them with that approval, that acceptance, that this early rejection can lead to avoidant personality disorder. So several control studies exist. So treatment is similar to that what we will use for social phobia. Basically, teach them interpersonal skills, social skills, communication skills, assertiveness skills. Treatment targets, that's what I said. It includes social skills and also stress and anxiety management. Then comes your dependent personality disorder. So here, individuals with this disorder will, the clinical features are reliance on others to make major or minor life decisions. So people with dependent personality disorder, they will be, has very poor self-confidence, and also they lack a sense of autonomy. That is, they cannot make decisions for themselves. They are completely dependent upon others to make even smallest decisions about their life. Okay, they rely on others, family members, friends. They cannot make up their minds. They cannot make decisions. They have a fear of abandonment, and they are very clingy and submissive in interpersonal relationships. Very, too much of clinginess is observed, and a view that others are more powerful while they are weak. They feel that people are more powerful and they are very weak. In causes is, we are not clear what causes dependent personality disorder. It could be linked to early disruptions in learning independence. So during childhood, see, again and again, personality, the causes are, linked towards childhood. So the child is very, very critical, and the type of environment the child is brought up, the type of upbringing, the type of care the child has gotten, and also during childhood, if the environment is not conducive to teaching compassion, empathy, teaching independence. Teaching a child to be independent is also very, very critical. So it could be that, during that early stages of learning, the child has not really learned how to be independent. So the parents are, there are certain families, like, the children are not allowed to make decisions. Very controlling parents. Everything is decided by the parent. So treatment options, not much research backing is there, but therapy, if they come for therapy, it typically progresses very gradually, and it includes we will basically includes teaching them life skills that will help them to, become much more independent and autonomous in nature. Then comes obsessive compulsive personality disorder. So here, the main feature is excessive and rigid fixation on doing things the right way. Very rigid type of personality. Things have to be done in a particular way, right way. Highly perfectionistic in nature, orderly and emotionally shallow. Obsessions and compulsions, which we talked yesterday, are not present, very rare. But they are always preoccupied with, things should be done in this way, preoccupied with rules, very judgmental, moralistic. Their way is correct way. Very, it is a person, like, who is very perfectionist, and in his or her drive to be perfectionist, will not be able to complete projects, complete things on time. Is a control freak who has to have their own way, and things have to be done in a certain way, certain order, then only they'll feel comfortable, and their way is the right way only. Causes, we don't really know what leads to personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Treatment options, again, very limited data is there. If they come for treatment, we address, usually treatment is targeting towards addressing fear related to their need for orderliness, their feeling, and treatment is also like, there is this procrastination is observed in these persons, feelings of inadequacy. So our treatment is targeted towards helping them with that. So facts and statistics. Personality disorders affects about 0.5 to 2.5 of the general population, and rates are higher in patient and outpatient settings. Origins of personality disorder is thought to be begin in childhood. As we were talking about each and every disorder, we were also talking about causes, and almost every personality disorder talks about childhood and tends to run a chronic course if untreated. Comorbidity rates are high. That is, along with personality disorder, they will also be having some other mental disorder. Okay, that's it. So with this, we finish with personality disorder. I thought I will start mood disorders, but it's not to be. So tomorrow we will start mood disorders. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I had to be fast.
Ma'am, a small
Tomorrow,
request. Ma'am,
hmm,
shall we get the copy of this PowerPoint presentation, whatever we
no,
are
I
giving us?
cannot give that. I
Because
cannot.
because it is very brief and easy to
All of
understand.
this is present in, as I mentioned in the first class, all this is present in any of your abnormal psychology textbooks. So
Oh,
you can access this, you can go to BRAO, or maybe you can buy a textbook. Any abnormal psychology textbook would have this.
okay. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Or,
Thank you.
It is in our psychopathology textbook.
Is it in
If
psychopathology?
we did our MSc
abnormal
psychology from
psychology.
BROU, it
Uh,
is in our psychopathology textbook.
okay, ma'am.
Page,
Thank you.
Madam, what is meant
Psychopathology.
by seeking sensation?
Hmm?
Seeking sensation.
I could not hear. If you can just be
Seeking
louder.
sensation, madam. What is meant by seeking sensation?
You want to know what does this mean? Seeking sensation.
Yes, madam. Yes.
It is a personality trait, and which here the person searches for experiences, feelings that are novel, rich, intense feelings, and they will be ready to take any type of risk. Okay, when they take such risk, it could be physical risk, that is bungee jumping or jumping from a plane, or legal risk or financial risk for the sake of experiencing that risk. Understood? Got it?
Got it, madam.
That is sensation seeking. Anything else? So tomorrow, why don't you just glance through mood disorders, and we'll start mood disorders. Okay. So we have 1 minute. Somebody is raising a hand. Who's raising this hand?
Myself.
So hopefully I've answered your question.
Yes, madam. I
Okay.
understood.
Understood. So my advice to you is read any of the textbook on abnormal psychology, and if BROU also has some textbooks, you can read up on that. This book also, which the lesson book, like psychological disorders book soft copy, which has been given to me, uh, also covers all of these things which I've just mentioned in the PPTs. Okay.